we're back, Sal. No more moves to make. Trade deadline's over. However, we're going to finish these podcasts with a couple of stash candidates here. I love stash season, okay? We've got one more pretty bad bye week gauntlet here, but once we get through that and people no longer need depth, this is the time to start getting those stash candidates in. So, Sal, every week you're going to give us two guys to stash or maybe keep on waiver wire speed dial. So give us your first candidate here heading into week 12.
Yeah, this first one I'll give you is probably a more general one. This might not be available in your super sicko leagues, but then the second one will be, I'm pretty sure on that. So the first one here, Jaylen Wright of the Miami Dolphins. Jaylen Wright has quietly taken over the number 2 running back job from the Dolphins the past 2 weeks. He, once again, this past week was playing about twice as many snaps as Raheem Mostert. Since Mostert fumbled late in the game in week 9, the last 2 weeks, it's been Jaylen Wright as the RB2 on this offense. An offense that is trending in the right direction lately, starting to get just things rolling. This past week, nearly 300 passing yards for Tua. Tua also looked good outside of the pocket, which for him is always a little bit of a concern extending plays, but he was making some serious plays there, which is just kind of another bonus, which is not something we're used to from Tua Tagovailoa, so that's good to see. And Devon Achane, we've already seen him this year have a concussion scare, or at least he probably would have missed a game if he didn't have his bye week. We've seen him deal with injuries in the past, and knock on wood, we don't want to see him get hurt. One of the best running backs in fantasy right now. But the whole point of stashes here is to have these insurance options on your bench. If the starter was to go down, you have a guy that you can start. And in Jaylen Wright's case, a 210-pound back with elite 4.39 speed, can handle a red zone role, can handle just in terms of in between the 20s, one of the most explosive players in college football, if not the most explosive running back last year. He can have just upside on a per carry basis, and that's what's happening right now on a per touch basis. So if HM was to go down, I'm not going to say this is a league winner, although I think that's probably like his ceiling outcome is a guy who can do that for you. I would say that this is a top 20 running back, top 24 running back weekly, goes into your RB2 spot that you can just put on your bench and stash right now if you have the depth to do so.
Yeah, I mean, we're recording this on Tuesday, so by the time people are hearing it, waivers have already run. Maybe this changed, but as of right now, he's only rostered in 6% of Yahoo leagues. So like he's definitely a guy that's widely available. The Dolphins get the Patriots this week, the Packers, the Jets, the Texans, the 49ers, and the Browns. There are at least some spots in there from a run defense perspective where I'd give Miami the edge. I love this call. Yeah, I think he is one of the he's not too discussed, right? Because he's a rookie. Raheem Mostert is there. People maybe don't know what the deal is with that. But I think he's looked good when he's gotten the ball this season. So love that call from you there. He would instantly rocket up to like definitely a starting running back range. I mean, there's a lot of good backs this year. It wouldn't be like a total RB1 smash or anything like that. But I do think he would be a starting running back if he ever got the job there. And look, the Dolphins, they're competitive. It's not completely over for them. So if they ever needed it, I think Jaylen Wright would be a nice candidate there. Give us your second stash candidate heading into week 12.
Yeah, I think this one might be a little bit deeper, but I guess if Wright's available in over 90% of leagues, they're both in the same neighborhood here. And it's Sean Tucker of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, another running back. He's coming out of his bye week, so for sure, if anybody actually had them on their roster, even in deeper leagues, decent chance they dropped him while he was on his bye week. And it's just a player to stash at this point. He's definitely behind Rachaad White, who's been better lately, and Bucky Irving, who continues to be extremely productive per touch on this offense. But again, it's a stash here. And if just one of those running backs was to go down, miss 1 to 2 weeks, or the rest of the season with any type of injury scare here, then Sean Tucker jumps into an offense that the rest of the season has a great matchup for running backs. Just this schedule is extremely soft. You get the Giants this week. He's probably not going to have any chance to take advantage of that, but you get the Panthers twice this season. You get the Cowboys. You get the Raiders. The toughest matchup right now, rest of the season for this team, is the Chargers, which earlier in the year I would be pretty concerned about, but lately it's been a little bit of a softer matchup. In general, it's a great spot to be. Sean Tucker, you remember back in week 6, nearly 200 yards, 2 touchdowns on 17 touches. He has a small sample of just 33 touches this year, but leading the NFL with 8.6 yards per touch. So a productive player that if one of those running backs was to go down, I do think he slides into the offense, probably sees at least 8 touches a game. Wouldn't be shocked if he starts seeing 12 to 14 touches per game in an offense that, since losing Chris Godwin, they're going to get Evans back. It still seems like they're leaning on their running backs more than the average offense in the league.
Yeah, absolutely. And their run game has been so much better this year. It's been actually really fun to watch under Liam Cohen as opposed to what they did with Dave Canales last year. The offensive line, the youth there improving is a big part of it too. That schedule that you read off is just sick. I mean, for opposing running backs, like that is just a great schedule. So I love the Sean Tucker call. It's definitely a deeper one because I think he has almost like no standalone value, but that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about stash candidates, somebody to keep on waiver wire speed dial because, man, if anything happened to Bucky Irving, especially Bucky Irving. I think Rachaad White, he's more of the passing down guy, but if something did happen to Bucky Irving, I think Sean Tucker, we've already seen he has that explosive potential.
Yeah, explosive potential, upside, young player. Any chance he's gotten, he's produced right now. And again, yeah, it just comes down to if one of those guys was to miss time, a last guy on your bench type of thing compared to, I don't know, a wide receiver 5 or 6 that you're never going to be starting.